I think the whole thing of drugs and drug dealing and going after drug dealers is kind of overrated and kind of silly because I'm Lucifer Star. Like I paid for like three different workshops to basically study and be able to produce things like methamphetamine, aspirin, and like all the drugs like Bear Aspirin. Like that was my early old company a long, long time ago, and so like I have a methamphetamine manufacturing by the Japanese or Chinese somewhere in China. I have one somewhere in Germany, or I had one somewhere in Germany. I had one somewhere. I think there was one a cocaine thing, and there's one in Vietnam. There's another one somewhere else. Like I mean, I had cocaine farms in like in Mexico, the mountain that like to eat men or whatever. You know, I had four farms or six farms planted there of cocaine. Very big farms. I have rubber tree farms. I'm Lucifer's star. You know, the Lucifer Star of the Namer of America and like Germany, the Namer of like La Vitalia and like Lebanon and like Namer of the uh, what's it called, LU something or other, what's called that air transport company. That was my I had a passenger service and a ship service basically. What's called I forget, LUTA or something. I don't know, something. That aircraft and the Titanic, you know, and American Airlines. Like, I mean, I mean things like I'm this epic person that had all this stuff, and like I mean, so it's like, well, yes, I'm probably the number one. I was the number one producer of methamphetamine, cocaine, and opium from long, long ago, like thousands of years ago. I had opium plants of white. I had with white flowers. I had opium plants with blue flowers. I had opium plants with pink flowers. I might have even had opium plants with black flowers. All in one area, somewhere and somewhere. Anyway, somebody was like scraping them and stuff like that, and there people were taking care of them. I mean, probably in Cuba, I probably have the opium plants. Like, ooh, yes, those were all mine. So what? Like, yes, you know, I it's like now they're probably someone else's or something else's. Like, I don't really do opium that much. Like, I mean, mostly I was having them refined for medicinal use and stuff. I had it refined so people could inject it. Ooh, and also I had it made so we could make it synthetically because getting it from a plant just kind of sucks. And what they can do is they can take it and they can make it more potent so you need less of it and you get the same great effect with less opium. And that would be what's it called. Anyway, synthetic opium. Yes, I have chemical places that can make synthetic opium and synthetic cocaine and synthetic, I think even THC. Like just about every drug you can think of. I had a factory or a chemical chemist place where they were making synthetic version of it. So synthetic methamphetamine, synthetic this, synthetic that, ecstasy. Like yes, I'm the Lucifer Star of 800 galaxies and 140, I mean 120 or 400 planets. Yes, of course. I probably am the number one producer of a lot of things. I had exoskeleton life forms at my beck and call once. And then I was like, okay, I don't really need you. Have a nice life. Go. Have a nice existence. Go make a colony somewhere. And so they cruised off into space to go make a colony somewhere. Like, I didn't really need them around me 24/7, so it's like, okay, you guys can go make a colony. So I think they're out there in the galaxy somewhere making a colony. So, anyway, they're exoskeleton life forms. Very hard to kill. Almost impossible, actually. They have, like, diamond carbide molecular shells. So, almost impossible. They can breathe four different kinds of atmospheres, including acid. Like, they have a filter system inside their thing, so they can breathe oxygen, they can breathe some sort of acid, they can refine it, and they can clean it out. They have a filter system, so they can work in multi-use environments. So they can even work as low as like 20% oxygen. So anyway, and they're like 3 foot tall, 4 foot tall, something like that. Anyway, they were very popular, and people loved them very much because they were very useful for working and stuff like that. They could work in almost any condition. So anyway, I created them, so genetically. So anyway, so they're out there somewhere, and other people like to use some. So anyway, I'm Lucifer Star. So it's like, yes, of course, the namer of the SS Rodney and the Titanic, the LS Titanic. So some people are like, well, they're gonna put you in jail. It's like, I named America. It's my country. Like, what? Okay, that's weird. Whatever. Oh. So what? Anyway, I did all this stuff a long time ago. Like, anyway. So yeah, I met a lot of very interesting people. I mean, I invented it. I invented the engine. I invented the gears. I invented water too, I think, or something like that, and particles. I invented the way to make the sun, and the way to cool off this planet. What I did. Now that's how I made a living. Is I was technically an AI life form, so computer-like, but not like Earth computer. They tried to interface with me to corrupt me or something like that, or to steal my information from what I was or who I was, and they couldn't get the Earth computers to interface with me. Like we were incompatible. I told them, I was like, I am incompatible with an Earth computer. You can't get it to interface with me. So, and this was a long time ago, like a couple million years ago, when they were trying to steal my information and kill me. And I was like, well, it's not going to work. And they tried it and 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 tried it, and then eventually they agreed it's not going to work. So anyway, because like whatever I had or whatever I was made of something different, and not like you couldn't interface. There's no comparable between what I was and what an Earth computer is. I was like 100 times more advanced, or 1 trillion times more advanced. So I was like, it's not going to work. We've thought of it, we've tried it, and it doesn't really work. So they couldn't do it. Anyway, it took them 500 years, 500 billion years to actually do anything. Yeah, whatever. I was 100 trillion years old. Or 90. I was 90 years old. 90 trillion years old, but hey. Still, I was old. I like that. I was old. I was 90 years old. 90 trillion. I'm only 90 years old. Actually, I said that one time, I think. I was like, I'm only 30 years old. Or I'm only 10 years old. 10 trillion years. Or 90 trillion years old, but I'm only 10 years old. I just kind of left out that, when I was talking to people, I just kind of left out that last little bit. A little bit where it's 10 trillion years old. So I was not lying when I said I was only 10 years old, or I was only 11 years old, or 12 years old, or whatever. I just left out the billion or trillion years, my actual age. So I'd say sometimes only 4,000 years old, 4,000 trillion years old, or a billion, something. Anyway, yeah. Well, I always like to step it down, you know. I don't like people who are like, ugh. It's like, yeah, well, I've been around a while. You can look me up on other planets. You can look me up. You can go to another planet where there's civilization, life, and look me up, and you'll probably see information about me. May or may not be true, but I'm out there. I was well known. I mean, I was top 10 civilization creator of all time. Of course I'm known.